With your permission, I'll continue on with a few more slides. The next one was another question regarding ad valorem tax and the health department millage. So right now, we're charging 0.790 mils. Under state law, we could go up to a full half of a mil, 0.5 if we wanted. We would generate another $7.3 million if we were to do that. It is something that we could do in the budget process in September and building to September when we got to that point.
And so different from the other one that is really unincorporated types of fees, this one would be countywide, and what it would do is it would be shifting dollars that we currently put in from the general fund, and then you would be shifting those around, but then that frees up general fund dollars to address any countywide issues that you may want to do.
And my question on this is, it says how to levy is referendum. I don't think that's the case. We already are able to, but if we went to the full levy, we would have to have, I think, under the state statute, unanimous vote, because it would be more than that. You know, remember those levels at which you have to get a majority, supermajority, and
So the referendum there means to get in the door. Just to start charging it, to up the amount, you do not need a referendum.
okay. Thank
Forgive
you.
me for, yes. And yes, it would very likely require a unanimous vote.
Mm-hmm.
Every year you have to make those calculations for Department of Revenue, but you're right, it would most likely be unanimous to get there.
But if we ended up considering it, you might want to figure out what levels would produce what different monies, if it was a majority versus supermajority versus
Oh, yes.
unanimous, if people are interested. So,
You see where she's
Yes.
going, so then you wouldn't have to have a unanimous vote
Right.
at certain levels.
Yes.
thank you.
Commissioner Eggers?
Yeah, I do, and to that conversation, Commissioner, so I can't remember when we upped the nursing, to do the nurse in every school, we just did that here, and we did it by majority, right? It wasn't, okay.
Yes.
So,
That's correct.
so, yeah.
And it was because of the level of the increase
Oh, was,
was small,
okay.
relatively speaking.
So, okay, that would be good to know.
Yeah.
We'll break that down.
And what the, so there's a cap on how many mills that you can go in this fee, in this fund, correct?
Yes, sir. Correct.
And remind me where we're at and,
So we are right now at 0.790 mils, and the cap is 0.500 mils. So you could go a half a mil on this one.
I had thought, when we did this, I thought we were much closer to the cap than what we apparently, okay.
No, sir. And there's another cap just to keep in mind, and that's the 10 mil cap on all countywide together. So just for reference, that's also in the mix.
And so, and there's also the spending side of the equation where we spend money on state and other entity functions, that certainly if we wanted to use that money for countywide priorities, we certainly could do that. Commissioner Gerard, did you have something?
I think was confused not being a math major or anything. So if we were actually at half a mil, it would only produce 7 million more?
No, I wasn't clear. That is another tenth of a mil. So if we were to add 0.1 on, it would be another 7 million. No, ma'am, you're not. So,
Great.
All right.
all right. The
I'm
next-
sorry, Commissioner Seal?
And Chris, thank you. I just wanted to make sure people knew that anytime we do millage from other funds, not all funds, but some funds, it goes towards the maximum of 10 mils.
Right.
So
Yes.
there's only 10 mils allowed in the FSBU and 10 mils allowed in the countywide funds.
That's correct.
So,
Yes. And then
because you always have to kind of keep that in mind if you ever.
Right.
you do. And I could say too, we don't have any voted debt. That would not be voted debt. Any general obligation bond would be a separate of those two tens as well. So
I would never recommend doing a general obligation bond.
no, I'm just giving you the law as I know it. So
Carry on.
our next
Hold
one.
that thought.
Our next one is a sales tax for transportation, which you are all familiar with. You've discussed it for many meetings. I will give you some numbers down there at the bottom. A full penny would be 147 million. It is a county. Our next one.
That